Our main goal was to keep the user watching YouTube as long as possible, because the longer they watch YouTube, the more ads we can show them.
And that didn't matter if it was BS videos about vaccines. It didn't matter if it was misinformation, as long as people were watching videos.
Exactly. We didn't care about if the information was true or not.
YouTube announced this week that it would crack down more on vaccine misinformation, but almost 2 years into the pandemic, the news left many people asking,
what took them so long?
No, that should have been done like 10 years ago. I mean, by the design of the algorithm, you could have guessed 10 years ago that anti-vax content was generating a lot of watch time.
The company saying it will now ban well-known false claims about approved vaccines, including that they will cause autism, cancer or infertility, or that substances in vaccines can track those who receive them.
I'm sure you've seen the pictures all over the internet of people who've had these shots and now they're magnetized. They can put a key on their forehead, it sticks. They can put spoons and forks all over them and they can stick.
That's anti-vax conspiracy theorist Sherry Tenpenny, who, despite a history of making unhinged claims like that, was only recently suspended by YouTube.
This is not content without consequences. This misinformation, when it takes hold in communities, it can have a profound impact.
And taken hold it has. Sherry Tenpenny's conspiracy theories have spread far and wide.
My own doctor tried to get me to get the shot, and I told him to go watch Dr. T. Penny.
So you trust this woman on the internet more than your own doctor?
I do.
Another super spreader of COVID misinformation only banned by YouTube this week, Joseph Mercola, who had almost 500,000 followers on the platform.
It's an unproven vaccine. It's just being accelerated and eliminated virtually every safety study.
Mercola still has almost 2 million followers on Facebook and more than 300,000 on Twitter. Reacting to his YouTube ban, he said in a statement he was being censored, an attack on his freedom of speech. But the conspiracy theorist had little to say when confronted by CNN's Randy Kay in August.
Do you feel responsible for people who didn't get vaccinated, possibly got sick and died because of what you told them about the vaccines? What do you say to families who lost loved ones?
Companies like YouTube have spent too much time focusing on growth and not enough on safety, says this former Google engineer who worked with YouTube.
When you start on one anti-vax video, for instance, the algorithm is designed to recognize like similar videos that share the same interests. So it will propose you more anti-vax videos. When I started to work on YouTube, I thought I would help make the world a better place with get people to learn more information. But by doing an algorithm that doesn't take into account truth, I realize that sometimes it took people down this rabbit hole of misinformation.
Donie O'Sullivan joins us. Now, how wide-ranging could the effects of this new rule be, considering how often other websites link back to YouTube?
That's right, Anderson. Yeah, I mean, the effects of this go well beyond YouTube, and the effects of YouTube's inaction on this go well beyond YouTube. As you say, videos from YouTube get shared all over the place on Facebook, on websites. I mean, the big question is how effective will they actually follow through with this policy? Will YouTube actually live up to their word? I should mention a spokesperson for the company told us that since that employee we spoke to there in that piece, since they worked for the company a few years ago, that YouTube says it's sort of got its act together a bit more on vaccine misinformation. They brought in new rules, new changes to their algorithms. But all that being said, I mean, it is pretty stunning, Anderson, that we're almost 2 years into this pandemic, and it's only now the company is putting in a widespread ban on the ridiculous claim that the vaccines have microchips in them, that they are tracking devices in some way.